interviews of years of going through small companies, big companies. I don't think there's not 1 year since college I've applied for jobs. Um, and then several jobs at different, um, levels, and I have different discussions with different people at these companies, and straight off the bat, you should be searching for, previous KPIs. Like, what have this person accomplished? Um, what that's basically, what key performance indicators, you know, have this person this has accomplished in their career, basically in their past two jobs. I would say the last two jobs in the past. Fuck. It's even hard to even say that now because you say 4 years back. It's 4 years back now. It's like obsolete. So I guess yeah, at least 3 years back. 3 years back. I would just go through 3 years back now because well, I guess I would just do a good 5 years because AI has really been out a good 5 years. If you haven't um, done different KPIs at your work. It could be as simple as like completing a call. That could be it could be a sales call. Completing as how many calls can you do per month? Basically. I don't do calls, but how many calls do you do per se within the job per month? I should say like that. So you might have to call HR, or you might have to call benefits, or you might have to call your boss on the phone. So how many calls, and that could be a KPI. How many calls do you call per month? Um, you know, that could be a simple interview question, basically. We want to know how well you communicate. Basically, are you communicate with your other team members, and then um, the other things I would think if I'm trying to hire, I would figure out milestones. What kind of milestones have you either done on your own or helped with others? I would like to hear stories of something like that, of milestones that you accomplished at your past two jobs in the past 5 years. And then, other than that, I would be deliverables. What kind of deliverables within these milestones that were very important, um, how you came across them in a way where um, it was like in a way where you know, figure out how to ease road blocks or, speed bumps and stuff like that in the workplace, like how you deal under pressure, when it comes to deliverables or something like that, you could say, well, you take a deep breath and you figure out, try to figure out what would be the both. Um, you try to put up in the cloud two scenarios that where it could go in the favor of, you know, of yourself, basically. Something of that nature. I don't know. Okay, then workflow. Like how was your workflow? How was your past workflow? None of this is like getting like done in an interview. Like I don't know. It's like you could have shocked me. They tell you they want a high level overview of yourself. Blah 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 blah. Boom boom boom. Okay, wow, cool. Okay, then you get and then it's so high level. It's like less than 15 seconds. Then you have to pause and see if they respond to your to see if they want to, because some interviews they want to do the talking. Some interviews they're trying to see how you talk and how you respond to conversation. So and then the pitch of your voice, as your voice is like gidgety or like if you talk with a sis or some stupid stuff like that, um, or you say a lot, or you just have English as a second language, or you have broken English. You're just looking at just different ways they could just say goodbye, basically. You talk with a sis or it's some shit like you're like stuttering or some word like you just Maybe you had a bad day, or maybe you ate some peanut butter and jelly and you have an adverse reaction, or maybe sometimes you do cough when you after you do have the cough because maybe you have dry mouth and you got nervous. But this is your time to shine during that 15 seconds, and it has to be the most polished sentence in your life to get in order to get that job. So I'm just saying. And then they have workflows. What does your workflow look like in your other company? In your other companies, how did you work with CRMs? How did you work with analytics? And how did you work with company culture? Company culture, as in, like, what type of events did you have? Participated in company events. Like, did you go to the bar after work or something? You go to a coworker's house or something. There's something real cool about that. And then the tools, like, what kind of tools you use, like what kind of tech tools you use. Hopefully, if your KPIs or if you're a developer, or or is it product, or is it analytics, data science, or whatever it is. It could be customer service. It doesn't have to be always engineering. But and then they always ask you what kind of questions and stuff. What basically you have for us? Like, all right, cool. What kind of questions? Like, after you set out that stuff, it doesn't seem like they are not really interested in you. So you don't even have energy to continue. So sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you just shut it down yourself. It's like, you know what? We're not having you know, a cordial conversation when it seems like, they will actually pick you. So you might as well just say, hey, it was nice talking to you guys, and just hang up, just call it a day. Or you can keep going. It's all right. Usually I just ask, is this a new role or existing role? Try to get into that. How long it's been open? Because you're trying to figure out, why is it, if it's new, cool. If it's not, why the person's left and how long it's been open. Because, I've been applying for jobs, and the same job's been open for, like, and they don't want to fill it. They just want to see who applies, basically. And then they on cherry pick. And see, those are the type of roles that you want to stay away from and waste your time, because you might have to take a break out of your day and and concentrate for a few minutes to get into this interview style role, and basically, it takes a couple of hours to prepare. Maybe you have to take a shower or go to the gym or prepare, because you are at a rehearsal, basically. And this should be taught in college, like interview preparation. I don't know why it's not. They make you the whole LinkedIn work shit is workflow is basically for interviews, to prepare for an interview. I don't know why. I guess they kind of do, but it's just so many variables, and then this ATS or software that messes everything up. Like, you're not really getting the good people. You're getting people who just briefly worked in the workforce, and got a couple of brief announcements. Well, they just know how to work the system, man. There's no hate in there. But anyhow, what other, and like, what other, usually I ask what category or what department this position falls under. Does it fall under customer service? Does it fall under marketing? Does it fall under engineering? Does it fall under C-level executive? Because I'm trying to look how much I want to get paid, and they haven't even mentioned that yet, like how much you're gonna get paid. So may I work with? Okay, whatever. That doesn't seem like that's a question, but you know, you're trying to figure out what to get paid. Like, if this is a C-level executive role, you want to make sure you get paid $200,000 to $300,000 and get, a what do you call it? Benefit. What do you call those? A starting bonus. You want you basically need to go see a lawyer so they could get compensated correctly. You want to see a lawyer to write you a compensation strategy, and then you probably want to have a compensation strategy with a lawyer and draw up a compensation package that will compensate you with your previous experience and with this new experience, because there's stuff in there that you probably didn't know. Like there's, if you're in like, company in, if you're a C-level executive, or or stock or something like that, you got to know those things, and HR benefit stuff like that. You got to go through, and don't think it's a lawyer you have to go through. I think it's a wealth advisor or somebody that you have to figure out your compensation package. You just don't accept their package. You accept your package to them that's written in terms. And you ask the HR right there and there, if they ask you. If they don't, I won't even mention it. And that means it's a like a fluffy interview. You accomplish nothing but talking and wasting 2 or 3 hours of your time, basically. But anyhow, this is just something that I would think I would go over trying to find new people. I will work over. Let's reflect. I will work over KPIs. I will work over previous milestones. I will work over previous deliverables, previous workflows within the workplace that you were at, different CRMs that you were accustomed to. A lot of people, maybe you only work through email. That's a CRM. Or through text. Or through Google Calendar. There's a lot of things that a lot of people, believe it or not, haven't even set up a Google Calendar event. Something like that, or iCalendar if you have an iPhone. So there's different things for CRMs, or it'd be Asiana, or Jira, or there's other ones for coders and stuff. I forgot the ones right now, but something like as simple as it could be is Monday.com, if you want to get that simple. And what kind of tools have you used? That would be reflected in your KPIs and reflected in your milestones. You say, hey, I use Java to program blah blah blah. Stuff like that. But basically, that's just wanted to go over something, and hopefully we could make something of this video for interview preparations, and what they should be about, and your high-level overviews. My high-level overview will be about my previous KPIs and the KPIs I could deliver with this role. What milestones I did in my previous company, where I could reflect with this within your company, and what deliverables kind of came with those milestones and KPIs, and my workflow. Maybe I used the waterfall method in Jira, or Salesforce, or something like that, or Marketo, or something, or HubSpot, or something. Or I did my job based on different analytic programs like Tableau or something like that. I plugged them in and make sure everyone had them, or was in real time, something like that. Next would be company culture. How did I react to, like, maybe you were a person that was the leader at the company picnic or something, the yearly company picnic, the summer company picnic. Maybe you were the ambassador on that. Companies like that. For company culture. If I was like a past person who was the organizer for a company picnic, I would really want to look on that, because when companies have a lot of company culture, that those roles are worth more and they last longer. They last, instead of maybe 2 years, it lasts maybe 5 to 10 years, or even 15 years. I would say not that long, but at least 5 to 7 years you're secured in that role. So anyhow, hopefully you like this video. If you're not, tell me in the comments and give it a thumbs down, and or subscribe. But if you do, hit that notification button, so anytime that you come to my channel, you can like it and you'll get notified for updates in your feed. All right. Have a good day. Bon appetito.